You've felt it, a quiet pressure building beneath your routines. Not loud, not obvious, but present, persistent, like a low hum beneath reality, growing stronger by the hour. There's no alarm bell ringing, no media countdown, no calendar that will warn you. But something is coming. And deep down, you already know. This isn't just another day approaching. It's a hinge in time, a rare moment when the invisible becomes undeniable. A split second in the fabric of reality where the veil thins and something ancient steps forward. Most won't notice. They'll scroll past it. Call it a mood swing. Brush it off as exhaustion or coincidence. But you didn't find this message by accident. You've been picking up the signals. Sudden waves of emotion, strange synchronicities, vivid dreams that feel more real than your waking life. These aren't random. They're signs. A greater alignment is unfolding. Not in the sky, but in the space between timelines. A portal is opening, quietly, precisely, just beyond the visible edge of your current awareness. And here's the truth most won't tell you. This moment doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause for your convenience. It arrives when it arrives, and it either finds you in alignment or it finds you in resistance. That's why this matters. Because the energy that's arriving soon will not whisper twice. It speaks once, clearly, to those who are listening. So the real question is, are you still pretending not to hear it? The cosmos has a way of moving in silence. Not every shift comes with thunder. Some arrive like a breath, barely noticed on the surface, but capable of altering the structure of everything beneath it. And right now, one of those moments is nearing. It doesn't appear bold on star charts. It doesn't carry the drama of eclipses or retrogrades, but it vibrates differently. This is an alignment born in the in-between, between full and new, between mind and body, between who you were and who you no longer have the luxury of remaining. In the sky, subtleties are speaking, a messenger planet whispering distorted truths, a lunar body fading into shadow, a veil lifting between logic and intuition, not with noise, but with precision. You may have already felt it, a subtle resistance to routine, an inability to concentrate, emotional waves rising without a clear source, a sense of time stretching or collapsing altogether. These are not anomalies. They are signals. The space you're moving into isn't about explanation. It's about recognition. The spiritual architecture of this alignment is built on thresholds, doors that appear only when you're still enough to see them. What's forming now is one of those doors, not physical, not even mental, energetic, and it responds not to action, but to presence. That's what makes this so disorienting, because most people are trying to do their way through a shift that can only be felt. But this energy, it can't be forced. It can't be tricked. It doesn't respond to ritual or routine. It responds to realness, to honesty, to surrender, to your willingness to stand in the dark without answers and still open your eyes. In esoteric traditions, this type of alignment has always been sacred. It marks the thinning of dimensions. Not just between worlds, but between selves. It's a soft collapse of the version of you that was built in defense, the mask that learned to smile through disconnection, the identity you curated to survive, even when it stopped feeling like home. Now that version is being loosened, not ripped away, but offered up. The question is, will you let it fall? Because this window isn't about becoming someone new. It's about allowing who you already are to rise without resistance. The cosmos doesn't care about your timeline. It cares about your truth. And right now, the sky is mirroring your inner tectonics, the small fractures, the quiet realignments, the ways you've started to question what once felt permanent. The signs are subtle. Your body saying no before your mouth does. Your energy withdrawing before your mind catches up. Your dreams showing you what your waking self refuses to admit. These aren't distractions, they're compass points. Because this isn't a linear shift. It's not a left to right unfolding. It's dimensional. It moves like water, like breath, like emotion rising from your bones. And when it peaks, soon, there will be no flashing lights, no grand announcement, just a moment of choice. Quiet. Crucial. Will you stay wrapped in what's familiar? Or will you lean into what's calling you, even if you can't explain it yet? Because this alignment won't demand, it will invite. And those who respond, they won't just experience change. They will become it. You say you want change. You say you're ready to evolve. But here's the truth. You can't bring your old self with you. And that's why this moment feels heavy. Not because something is wrong, but because something is ending. And endings, even sacred ones, still carry grief. There's a version of you that's been holding everything together, the one who kept smiling when they were exhausted, the one who kept showing up even when no one noticed, the one who kept pretending because the world applauds pretending. But pretending won't survive this shift because the energy that's arriving, it demands honesty, not performative vulnerability, not curated spirituality, raw truth. And here's where it starts. What are you still doing just to be accepted? What are you still saying yes to just to avoid the silence that follows a no? Where in your life have you mistaken comfort for peace or control for safety? These aren't rhetorical questions, they're doorways. And the more you avoid them, the more your life starts to feel tight, like a costume you've outgrown, like a script you don't remember agreeing to. And eventually, your soul gets loud. It speaks through your fatigue, through your frustration, through your sudden intolerance for fake conversations, shallow relationships, and recycled routines. You're not broken, you're becoming. But becoming isn't easy. Because first, you have to unbecome. You have to let go of who you thought you had to be. You have to stop molding yourself into shapes that make others comfortable. You have to admit that some of the dreams you've been chasing weren't even yours. And that's terrifying, because who are you if you're not what they expected? Who are you if you stop proving, pleasing, and performing? Who are you when you're finally quiet enough to hear the answer? That's what this energy is asking you to find out. And it's not doing it with force. It's doing it with truth. You may have already noticed it. Certain habits no longer feel good. Certain relationships feel out of sync. Certain environments drain you in ways they never did before. This isn't regression. It's realignment. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding everything you are not. But here's the challenge. You can't selectively numb. If you block the grief, you also block the joy. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid growth. And right now, you're being asked to feel everything, not to stay in pain, but to pass through it. Because what's waiting on the other side is you, unfiltered, unapologetic, uncompromised. And you've never needed that version of you more than you do right now. So breathe. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to explain your shifts. You don't need to rush your evolution. You just need to be present for it, to stop editing your truth, to stop shrinking your power, to stop hiding behind a version of you that was only ever meant to keep you safe, not set you free. This is the moment, not next week, not when you're more healed, not when it makes sense. Now, the veil has thinned, not just between dimensions, but between your mind and your knowing, your mask and your essence, your fear and your truth. And the question is no longer, will things change? The question is, will you let them? Because the change is already here, and so are you. There comes a point where reflection becomes resistance, where asking, what should I do, is just a softer way of saying, I'm afraid to begin. And you're at that point now, not because you're broken, not because you're lost, but because the path forward requires everything you are. This moment, the one pressing against your chest, pulling at the edges of your life, it's not asking you to think about change. It's asking you to become it. No more rehearsing your freedom. No more pretending confusion. You know what's not aligned. You've known for a while. The people you keep making excuses for, the habits you defend, even though they drain you, the roles you play just to keep the peace, even when that peace poisons your spirit. This is the moment where all of that ends. Not because someone told you to change, but because your soul is done waiting, done pretending, done performing, done living on autopilot. You didn't come here to repeat patterns. You came to break them. You didn't incarnate for safety. You came for truth, and here it is. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. Your resistance, a signal. Your discomfort, a map. Your restlessness, a sacred push. The version of you that survives this moment is not the one who waits. It's the one who moves, who speaks the truth even when her voice shakes, who says no without a script, who lets go without knowing what will replace what's being released. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stop pretending you're not ready. Because you are. Ready to stop playing small, ready to stop seeking permission, ready to stop being a background character in your own life. You know what needs to be done, the conversation you've been avoiding, the boundary you've been too afraid to set, the leap you've been delaying because fear dressed itself as logic. The time for delay is over. This energy won't wait. It doesn't repeat. It doesn't linger for those who stay indecisive. It moves. Fast, sharp, precise. And if you don't move with it, it leaves you behind. Not as punishment, but as consequence. Because spiritual momentum doesn't coddle. It reveals, it amplifies, it accelerates, and right now it's accelerating everything. Which means every excuse you make will cost more. Every lie you tell yourself will feel heavier. Every compromise of your truth will echo louder. So what do you choose? Stay in the familiar ache of repetition or leap into the unknown clarity of expansion? There's no perfect plan, no smooth exit, no guarantee, but there is freedom, and it never arrives dressed in certainty. It arrives disguised as disruption, as endings, as questions you're finally brave enough to answer. And when you answer, everything begins again. So if your heart is pounding, if your soul is whispering louder than usual, if you feel like something in you is on fire, that's not anxiety. That's activation. The future is not waiting. It's arriving. And it's asking you, will you rise to meet it, or will you shrink and watch it pass? Because one choice leads to repetition, and the other to rebirth. Change isn't a lightning bolt. It's a breath, a decision, a tiny disruption repeated with intention. You don't align with truth by waiting. You align by living like it's already real. And that starts today with the smallest, most sacred question. What would someone aligned with their higher self do right now? 1. Begin with stillness, not strategy. Forget the to-do lists. Begin your day with presence, not planning. Before you touch your phone, before the world gets a piece of you, just sit 3 minutes, hand on heart, eyes closed, and ask, what part of me is afraid to be seen today? Let the answer land. Don't run from it. It's your roadmap. 2. Interrupt one pattern. Don't wait for life to give you the perfect moment. Create one. Right now, scan your day for where you lose yourself. The conversation you fake, the decision you delay, the mask you wear. Now break the loop. Tell the truth. Take a pause. Choose silence over performance. That's alignment, not drama. Disruption. 3. Close your day like a ceremony. Most people collapse into sleep. You don't. Not now. Not here. Before bed, sit with your spirit. Ask, what did I release today? Where did I honor myself? What still feels heavy? Then say out loud or in writing, I'm letting this go now. It doesn't follow me into tomorrow. That sentence, it rewires timelines. 4. Speak as if you're already there. Words are not neutral. They're spells. Stop saying, I'm stuck. I'm trying. I don't know. Start saying, I'm clearing. I'm stepping into it. I'm finding what's real. Talk like someone who believes their future is already listening, because it is. 5. Ritualize the shift. You don't need incense. You need intentional interruption. Choose one moment in your day to ask, is what I'm doing right now a reflection of who I'm becoming? That question, asked daily, can end lifetimes of self-abandonment. 6. Don't wait until you're ready. You won't be. That's the secret. Alignment doesn't come before action. It follows it. So say yes before you feel brave. Say no before it's convenient. Step forward while your voice is still shaking. Because what you're building now, it's not just a new life. It's a new frequency, one that doesn't tolerate pretending, one that reflects your truth back to you without distortion. 7. Anchor with the body. Your nervous system remembers what your mind forgets, so move with awareness. Walk barefoot on the ground. Stretch with no goal but presence. Drink water as if it's sacred. Touch your skin with reverence. These aren't routines, they're rituals. This isn't self-care, it's self-return. 8. Create space to listen. Every day, carve space for silence. Not silence that avoids, silence that receives, that says, I trust the knowing that hasn't spoken yet. And then wait, not passively, but openly. Because guidance doesn't scream, it whispers. You just have to get quiet enough to hear it. No, this isn't easy, but it's sacred. You are building a new rhythm, a new relationship to choice, to time, to your own energy. And it starts not with massive change, but with one honest decision. I'm not going back to sleep. Not in this life. Not in this moment. If your breath feels a little deeper now, if your chest feels lighter, if something in you whispered yes in a way it never has before, you're already in it. Not just the shift, the return, the realignment, the becoming. There is no going back. Because once you feel the frequency of who you truly are, even for a second, the old version of you can't hold. It starts to fall apart. Not as punishment, but as permission. Permission to stop pretending, to stop performing, and stop living a life you never chose just because it was easy to explain. The moment that's been building around you, it's not just celestial, it's personal, and it's not asking for more time. It's asking for your presence. So here's what I want you to remember as this message ends. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not missing anything. You're arriving at your own center. And from that place, everything changes. Because the most powerful decision you can make isn't to fix your life. It's to live in alignment with your truth, no matter who it offends, confuses, or leaves behind. You weren't meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to remember yourself fully. And when you do, you become a signal, a ripple, a frequency that reminds others they can come home too. So if this message found you, if something inside you feels like it's waking up, don't keep that to yourself. Let this be a beginning. Drop a comment and write, "I'm not going back." Let it be your anchor. Let it be your announcement. Let it be the vibration that locks in this shift and echoes into the lives around you. And if you're still afraid, if part of you wants to shrink back into the old, that's okay. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be honest. And honesty is the vibration this moment responds to. Not perfection, not clarity, just honesty. And if you want more of this, if you want reminders when the noise gets loud again, I'm here. We're here. This space is not just content, it's a compass. So subscribe, not just for information, but for mirroring, for resonance, for remembrance, because something is opening right now. And your soul didn't come here to miss it. We're walking this together. We're anchoring a new rhythm. We're answering the call. And this is just the beginning.